And Roy Jones, those knockouts come from every angle and from all kinds of punches.
I see him laying hooks on the top of the head, hooks to the body, uppercuts.
Yeah, he hits guys from angles you're not used to seeing. Seems to make them up as he goes.
Just in front of him, trainer Abel Sanchez. The story now well known. Can we bring our fighter to meet you? He had no idea who the fighter was. 350 amateur fights, 345 wins, Olympic silver medal. And it's a good marriage partially, Roy, because Abel Sanchez is an aggressive knockout lover. And Chocolatito Gonzalez is talking about going to train with Golovkin.
A fighter like Triple G, you have to think of him almost like a great cornerback in football.
This kind of love seems as though it will continue to grow.
He built up the anticipation, and so far at least 21 straight times.
Canelo Alvarez owns the lineal middleweight champion. Gennady Golovkin is the consensus middleweight champion because fans know what they see.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the fabulous forum here in Inglewood, California, this is the main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the middleweight championship of the world. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are in the ring, and they are ready. For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner with his trainer, Jay Stencil, wearing green with black and silver. 18 fights, 18 victories, including 12 wins by knockout, and 7 of his last 11 victories by KO. Dominic Wade! Fighting out of the red corner with his trainer, Abel Sanchez. 34 fights, 34 victories, including 31 knockouts, 21 consecutive knockouts, 16 straight KOs and world title fights. The reigning, defending, universally recognized 160-pound, undisputed, undefeated middleweight champion of the world, Gennady Golovkin G.
Understand? Yeah. Ease are high. I'm going to let them work. Those are good. I gave you both instructions. Just want to remind you, fight hard, fight clean. Good luck.
Football has made its way into some of our conversation, but you can't help it that Steph Curry isn't facing Kawhi Leonard yet, watching the performance of the best in the business.
And Wade's plan for scoring the upset actually lands a big right hand and upsets the Triple G apple cart. So Will's at 5'10½", but as they get into the ring, Wade looks like the taller fighter.
Taking a fight like this, though, because he hasn't had a big fight in his career yet, so the biggest fight he could have in this weight class. And he's doing a good job of attacking right away here.
To get by, 41-year-old Australian veteran Sam left hook to the body. It's one of his more effective shots. Logic said two entirely different stylistic enterprises.
Yeah, anyway, the only problem I see here for a person like Dominic is that to surprise Triple G. If you're not quick enough to bring him a surprise, a good body shot though, then it's going to be really tough for you to upset him.
Abel Sanchez to provide whatever scouting report he thinks is necessary going in. That the jab fest against David Lemieux in his last fight, when he threw nearly instantly, made it a tactical fight rather than the war a lot of people expected. That was made on the fly. It was not something they planned in advance. He just walked in and round.
Let's see what worked in that first round, Jim, and whatever works is what they take. I mean,
Dominic Wade's a nice young fighter in his prime, undefeated himself, but so far he hasn't shown Triple G anything to worry about.
No.
Minutes in, Golovkin dominating contact by CompuBox count in the round. Hasn't landed anything really. That was big enough.
Yes, it was. Big enough to Max.
So one knocked out.
No. All right. Beautiful work, though. And Don, slam the right hand down the middle.
Pretty loud, okay? It's loud.
All right, man. Stay on that jab, double jab.
I mean, he's trying to hold him, and this is why he tried to hold him, because he didn't want to catch his overhand right to the back of the head. That you can't really see it coming. Hits your neck, and it causes you to just lose equilibrium and down he goes.
That's the second time. Last time it happened, he got his bearings and came back and won the fight.
Shot behind the ear. The way Dominic Wade was turning away, he's presenting that as the target.
To hurt him with another right hand, but this time Wade stayed up.
Yeah, he hurt him again with that same right and finishes it.
Oh. Crowd oohs and ahs.
Good body shot by Triple G. And a lot like Chocolatito, Jim, when they realize a guy can't hurt him, and that in itself is a weapon that they use on the opponents to weaken him.
Wade looked a little stiff-legged as he backed up after that body shot.
Seems to go into that thing, Roy, where...
This is the Willie Monroe thing.
Yeah, he kind of lets the guy...
Guards anything to do with punching power when it comes to the opponent.
Got to be careful doing that sort of thing. It's dangerous.
Yeah, but he's already felt the power of this guy, Dominic.
Yes, he knows he's going to get painted every once in a while because he's a pressure fighter. And a right hand. Doesn't look eager to get up.
Do you want to continue? Yes.
No, this fight is over.
I don't know that he can.
Roy?
Yeah, that's a good hook that he threw.
It was the Golovkin left hand.
And continue.
7.
After the third knockdown of the fight.
9, 10.
Series of right hands. And that was
the first knockdown was a left hand. The right hand finished it, but I think Wade was already a finished fighter when he got up.
Do now reverse.
Well, you could argue, but it's the way he violence.
He's amazing. Golovkin for something that was such an obvious mismatch.
Competitive fights as well. And I know that there's a guy, and I'm not trying to be a promoter, but there's a guy.
But he knows Morgan.
Well, they need to find out who he is because he needs competition on our net.
At this point, that the Canelo-Alvarez fight, if it's going to happen, won't happen until next. Say very openly that Canelo is never going to fight Gennady Golovkin.
And I agree, but when you see the first knockdown, a jab on the chin, as Max talked about, an overhand right to the shoulder, and the shoulder punch took him down, but like Max said, the damage was done from the jab right there, the left uppercut right here, boom, that hurt him and down, because the hook to the head and the jab to the head did the real damage.
Of that round, and the second knockdown in the fight.
Yes.
Well,
and who Roach talked about him fighting, who's a smaller man, and
now here's a look at the final knockdown.
A counter shot right on the top of his, boom, counter right hand, right on the chin, and that ended matters. You couldn't ask for a better.
Well, I don't think Golovkin's all that big a puncher. What are they smoking? I mean, come on, he's a big puncher.
Which hand are they talking?
Michael Buffer is standing by at the ropes with the official particulars on the knockout.
Minutes, 37 seconds, round number 2. The winner, 22 consecutive knockouts. He is undefeated middleweight champion of the world, Gennady.
Final CompuBox numbers. Golovkin lands 32 punches more. Throat power shot category. He lands 48% of his power punches. He didn't have any kind of power to keep Golovkin off of him, so Gennady simply walked him.
He's on you, and there's nothing you can do to get him off.
He does 2,100 punches.
How do you evaluate what you just did?
Muchas gracias, my fans from California.
Top 5 middleweights don't seem to give you much competition. If you can't get Canelo Alvarez.
Still champion. Just, of course, I need big name or big fight.
Round today, what you seem to do you do that intentionally, and why?
Yeah, it's my play. This is my game.
You're playing a game. Is that to give the fans think they can hit you so they will fight you?
You know, Max, today I give chance, man. Win, just give me my belt. Hey, I need my belt. I'm ready.
So the knockout parade continues for Triple G as he continues. Gilberto Ramirez, who just won a title belt at 168 pounds. Been seen?
It would be more interesting than the challenge was tonight for sure, but it's not going to be much more interesting, I don't think. Against pound for pound, one of the best fighters of all time in the middleweight division, and opportunities to develop himself, to develop his skill.
Then experience so important. It's not as if Triple G looks like he's a puzzle. There's not
Avoid that situation for 12 rounds. That's what experience does. Avoid it for Tito turned that warm level up to hot. Once he turned it up to hot, it got really in trouble.
All right, thanks very much, Roy. Max Kellerman joins us now. Did the pound for pound,
who for a while didn't really have great competition, a champion, so consistently delivered this kind of Mike Tyson. And Triple G is providing fans with that here as long as Tyson was, but that's basically what he's doing and on the limit.
And by the way, just like with Tyson, this crowd is,
and like Mike Tyson, not stop on cuts, not the referee stopping it.
You just don't see it. Another extraordinary performance on what has already been. He fights somebody who can bring out the absolute best. Meanwhile, thanks very much for the coming programming on HBO.